all our urban planning and um, our urban management of this urban systems is based on the Maharashtra Town Planning Act, 1967. Right? So everything that we do is based on that act. Right? And that was made in 1967 when the predominant thinking was that you need land use plans uh, and you need segregation of residential, commercial, industrial. There was nothing in that talking about integrated transportation, about mixed use, or about sustainability, right? So it was based on ideas which were happening in England in the 50s and 60s, those ideas of urban planning. Unless we go back and reform that act, right? All bureaucrats, all government has to act as per law. So they have to follow those laws. They have to follow those processes. That is why Mumbai has a 20-year plan, right, which we've just completed. But it has to follow the diktats and the process laid down in law. So the crux of the problem is, since none of us are lawyers and none of us are bureaucrats, we don't know how the process works. And we try to overlay it with various ideas and various things, but those overlays will never work because the base is the law. And the bureaucrats will only follow the law. So addressing what needs to be reformed in the Maharashtra Town Planning Act is the most important thing for us to do. I've been saying this for a while. How we plan needs to change. Considerations of today, which is sustainability, the aspirations of people living in urban areas, aspirations to culture, aspirations to recreation, aspirations to work, aspirations to good transportation. All of that needs to be reconsidered, and our method of planning needs to change. So we need to look at a more participatory method where citizens' involvement is much more in a meaningful way, because citizens know their neighborhood best and what is needed in their neighborhood, what is lacking in their neighborhood, etc. So it needs to be a more participatory method at the neighborhood level, and it needs to be a more trusteeship method when it comes to nature, that the government is the trustee of nature and is holding it in trust for the citizens and not violating it. So there needs to be codified laws that, like what's happened in the new development plan, they have changed the no development zones to developable zones. Who gave them the right to do that? Were the citizens asked? So certain things need to come in where these are non-negotiables. They are the trustees, and it's their job to maintain it unless they kind of renegotiate a contract with the citizens that citizens now are asking you to change things. Till then, you don't have a right to change it. So there are no skywalks in a forest in India as yet, right? And really, it's been designed. So this is a microforest. It's a 12-acre microforest in the middle of Malabar Hill, right? It's a forgotten area. Nobody knows it's there. I happen to be walking there since I was a child, so I know about it. Just below Hanging Gardens, right? If you stand at the lookout point of Hanging Gardens, within Hanging Gardens, and you're looking at Marine Drive, if you look straight down, there is a hill slope over there, which is forested. Okay, it's about half a kilometer long. Right? It's 12 acres of land. So it's between Hanging Gardens and Walkeshwar. It's basically been designed so that people can use the forest, walk in the forest, but don't tread on the forest. Their feet don't touch the forest, they are above, so that the flora, the fauna, all the animals that are on the floor are not affected at all. Their movement continues, and the stormwater drainage, when it rains, etc., it flows naturally. So the forest floor remains absolutely natural, and any maintenance we need to do, etc., also very limited. We're only putting one foundation every 9 meters. So the touch point on the forest floor is minimum. If we did a pathway on the floor, then you'll have to concrete, pave or whatever that entire strip, and then you need to maintain it. So then you're disturbing the forest floor. We didn't want to disturb the forest floor. We said, okay, we want people to go in without disturbing the forest floor. So the logical answer is you raise it up. The eco-sensitivity, if you start with design the units so that the cross ventilation is there, so your air conditioning use is less. Design it so that your heat gain is less. So you protect your windows, your heat gain is less, you're comfortable in the house. So the biggest guzzler of power is the ACs. If you can keep the AC off a little longer and use the natural ventilation, etc., a little longer, that will help and go a long way. For example, in my house, the AC in 365 days is probably used 5 days in the afternoon. Otherwise, it's cross-ventilated. It works extremely well. So we use very, very little power. So first is to minimize the use of power. Then is to offset the use of power through solar power, so that you're not using power on the grid and it's cheaper. So that's as far as kind of power, heat gain, cross ventilation goes. Have your windows as large as you can and protect them so that you're using daylight much more. Locate your dining table near a window so that when the family is eating, etc., it can be natural light. Rather than, these days, the dining table, the living room is put in the front and the dining near the window, and the dining is put at the back. Actually, in the living room, you're watching TV or something, you don't need the natural light so much. Flip it. Because otherwise, even when you're eating breakfast, you put on the light. So that the dining table is in the dark area. So have it in the front as much as you can near the window. Harvest rainwater, which is mandatory now in any case, but harvest as much as you can, not only the mandatory amount. And make sure you have a recycling, garbage recycling system in the building, so that all your organic waste you can recycle and use as garden manure within the building. So you're giving much less to the BMC, and you don't have to buy manure, and everybody can have beautiful plants, etc. In the society. So you're saving some money there. I think these are the main things that you can do to be eco-friendly in the society.